100 k's in the slow lane. The next lane I estimate to be only 120, and in the far lane that looks to be about 150 and beyond. The power of television. In 1974, watching Colditz on our black and white TV in New Zealand has meant that 44 years later we've ended up here parked under the castle of Colditz. It's now a youth hostel and a museum. It's been painted white, but we're going to go and have a look and see what it looks like in 2018.
Now, you say you watched it in the 70s, but have you, or in fact have we, watched it recently?
It so happens that the entire series are available on YouTube, and we have had a little peek at some of those old movies, and they have lasted the test of time, unlike a lot of other 70s TV.
He says we had a little peek at it. We actually sat through the whole 2 series. 14 one-hour episodes, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I had to watch it as a mature adult. I couldn't rely on my childhood memories. But no, it's still out there, and it still works.
Colditz is famous because of all the escape attempts, but how many people actually escaped?
Only about 30, although there were 300 attempts.
Mainly by the British?
Yes, they attempted, but the most successful were the French. They got 12 out of 12, which I think the British, they got something like
11 successes and 107 or 109 fails, but
yes.
Good on them for giving it a go.
Yeah, that's what made them British, after all. And I think the Poles had a similar record. I think they got one home out of 17 attempts.
There are a lot of good escape stories from Colditz, and one of them is this glider here. So the British up in this attic put in a false wall and built a glider. They didn't actually get to fly it as an escape attempt, but they did prove after the war that it would work. And it's made out of their bed sheets, and it's put together with porridge.
Well, Renee, we've just finished our Colditz tour. Are you a convert?
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. It's a different kind of World War II history than going to, say, Auschwitz or one of the concentration camps. It was a prisoner of war camp, but it was a very civilised one because it was only for officers, and a lot of the time they just seem to be coming up with interesting ways to try and escape, and only 30 of them ever escaped out of all the ones held prisoner, so it's a bit of an adventure story really.
We didn't plan to spend very long in Colditz, but the weather being the way it is, we did find this spot here, very shady, and what's best is that about 100 metres away there's a swimming pool complex. We didn't think we'd be doing this in Colditz, but it's 36 degrees we think, possibly 38 degrees. It's too warm to do anything, so we found ourselves a swimming pool on the edge of Colditz.
decide not to visit many cities in Germany, although we have made one exception here with Dresden. We thought because it's got such an interesting history we'd come and check it out. So it was really heavily bombed and largely destroyed at the end of World War II. Then it became part of the Eastern Bloc, and then it was reunified with the rest of Germany. So we've just come to see what it's like since it's joined the West, since it's been rebuilt. We found ourselves the Zwinger Palace here in Dresden, and it's got a pretty stunning garden. We were just over at the, I think it's called the Residenzschloss, which was another sort of palace, and we went in and had a look in the Green Vault, which was the treasury. We couldn't take any photos unfortunately, but it's full of amber and ivory and jewels, and it was really, really stunning. So I'll see if I can find some images on the internet to show you. But yeah, this one is not what we expected. So we've had a bit of a look around Dresden. What's your verdict?
Yes, it's got all the ingredients of a grand European city. It's got lots of old buildings, lots of restored buildings after the Royal Air Force did their bit in 1945, and the restoration is truly impressive. We saw what appeared to be the local crown jewels in the treasury, a lovely garden. We caught a snippet of an opera, and yeah, a nice grand city.